guys, me, Suze. What would you do if one of the people that you love the most told you they didn't love you anymore? And I know that's a hard question to ask, and no one in their right mind would want to like a video that has to do with that. But I hope you like this, and I hope that it helps you to deal with the times in your life when you've been shunned like that. This is from my oldest daughter, so it's especially painful, and I do document this journey on Suze Pratt on YouTube in the hopes that one day my granddaughters and now my grandson will see it and they'll get to know their grandma. So we're going to go back to the year 2013, and of course in 2012 with the shift, we were all afraid the world was going to end or something terrible was going to happen. And in our case, the terrible did happen, and our lives were shattered in that one regard. But there was a lot of healing in others, so I don't bring this up as a sad thing. I bring it up to give strength. And so, in the end, I was told by a very wise woman to write, "I love you, so be it," on a beautiful piece of paper and send it to my daughter. And she had told me that I had worked through my karma with this life lesson. So, that was fun. Very healing. Here's the letter I wrote my daughter. I know you know the story of how I overcame great adversity, neglect, and ostracism to become who I was by the time I gave birth to you. Although my mother showed me a dysfunctional love and tried to silence my spirit, God decided it would be my life's work to understand love unconditionally. I chose life when I chose to give birth to you, to love you unconditionally, and have to let you go. In order to begin taking care of myself, I knew part of the process was choosing to disclose the story in an age-appropriate manner to you and everybody else I chose to love and nurture. How much energy would it have taken if I had chose to hide the truth out of convenience or embarrassment? Mostly important, how would it impact the search to know myself and be true to self? So the truth was hard. In Indy Iree's song, Break the Shell, she says, "A life without pain is like a wolf in sheep's clothes, but if you listen to the lessons it holds, you'll find the gold." I'm grateful for all of the pre-disaster disasters that are part of my life before you executed all that was us. You've given me the greatest opportunity to firstly illustrate to you how much I do love you, and furthermore, my granddaughters will know how much I love them. The whole story of our ugly truth will be shared now for the rest of forever. I will be saying all of this and more for when they're older and they have earned the freedom of running their own lives. By the time you read this, our group will have already had our live intervention peace parade to say happy birthday to you, Sugar Butt and Bobo. It's my sincerest hope and prayer you all choose to forgive us, and especially for your children's sake, forgive yourself. And I signed it, Love, Mom. These are some pictures. I'll come up a little closer to the camera. Hi. These are some pictures of my daughter and I. Well, actually, yeah, there's me and my baby. So these are pictures over the years, and what had happened, like I said, is we were cut off May 31st, 2012 on their wedding day. And so I got the bright idea to have this peaceful intervention, I thought, and we would do this surprise birthday party. So I made a flyer, and you can see there's Grandpa Joe with Sugar Butt, and there I am with Bobo. You can see how jaundiced Bobo was when she was born. I was at the hospital for the birth of both children, and actually the biomat is what healed Bobo's jaundice. Another story for another day, right? So we went to have this party, this walk, and they weren't home. And so that was kind of tough. But I've spoke about it before. It's the actual following through of an idea or of a creative process that does the healing work. And the letter I wrote to accompany that flyer that I just showed you was on September 17th, 2013. And it says, "Dearest loved ones, recently I had an experience where divine intervention allowed me to see and speak to my granddaughters. Despite their father's angry rantings, the girls were happy, smiling at me, and Sugar Butt even said Grandma. I was in my car, only 10 feet away from them, for about 30 feet or so. Zach was pushing the cart with the babies and ran into Deerbergs like there was going to be a meltdown or something. I went into the UPS store, did my work, and I saw him one more time at the checkout, and you don't know how hard it was for me not to go running up to them in the store, but to create a scene would only anger someone that was acting irrationally to begin with, as we all know. Back to the letter, huh? There were more signs and wonders immediately prior to this encounter. Sunday, the vision was granted on how to finally speak out in a loving, creative way. A peaceful gathering, including all affected by the tragedy. Think of the popular flash mob concept. People descend on a location, have a party. Sometimes a question is asked. Music and joy is in the air. Swinging, swaying, moving with energy. Our question is more ominous. Why? Charge us, try us, crucify us, but at least state the charges. As long as we stay on the public streets and not on their private property, all will be well. We will walk and move along the corner and gather peacefully, celebrating freedom, gathering publicly to make a statement. We are coming together to be prayerful and meditative, praying for peace to come to the Pratt Goldcamp family, your families, and the global community also. We need heaven on earth, and we need you too. Thank you for all your love and support in this endeavor." So, even though they weren't home, you know my butt was in trouble. We left balloons and gifts and posters, and it was obvious that a group of us had been there. So, by December, I received this letter, and this isn't going to be easy to read or to hear, but when I get done with it, I'm going to explain to you why I think it's vital that you hear it and why it means something to me. So, it says Susanna, which is my name, not Mom, right? As I look through the paper trail and contemplate the memories which comprise the collective us, I smile. For my perceptions of the events which have unfolded in our past are as relative as yours, so I will not attempt detailing situations. I will say this. One day, years ago, I went looking to discover a relationship with my mother. Well, I found the last thing that I want to participate in is a relationship with my mother. I perceive you to be a narcissist. I also perceive you to alienate yourself by pushing others away. Combine that with the offensively deviant company you keep, and shebanga, I have had enough. You say your love is unconditional. Show me the depths. Allow your ego to fill the void left by the departure of our presence. Let us go. Truly let go. With each of your outbursts, I feel more justified in my actions. Let go. For I feel no lacking from an absence of your presence. Quite the opposite. It's funny reading your advice to forgive myself. Well, thank you for all of your love and support with this endeavor. I've heard enough of your self-gratifying speeches atop a prayerful soapbox. Let this go so that we may part ways and go upon our separate paths. Peace be with you. Not signed. Now, it's fine if someone doesn't want to be around me if I'm that offensive, or because they love me so much that they can't control me and that upsets them. But to deny love between a grandparent and a child, especially when there is no justification except for self-imagined ones that came from a past life recall. So, obviously through the life charts and through hundreds of clients that knew us to always be together and always be close, you see, to hundreds of people, that is not their reality. Now, it may be hers, but that's because somewhere things got a little jumbled up for my baby. How will I come to see the grandchildren when I live in a state that has no grandparents' rights unless the parents divorce? I mean, that's really screwy. And most of our laws these days are screwy, aren't they? 2 days ago, my grandson was born, and at this very moment, believe it or not, I know where my granddaughters are. They're 12 minutes down the road at my ex-husband's house. And you ask yourself, well, what would happen if I got in the car and drove down the way and knocked on the door and said I'd like to see my grandchildren? Now, of course, I know he wouldn't beat me. And surely, if the police were called, would they murder me? I mean, I really don't know. So, I'm going to work this process where I bring it to the forefront, working with love and light, and see how the next few hours go. See if anything happens telepathically, or see if I receive any impressions on what to do. But I promise you this, I'm only one, but I will do what I can do to bring peace to my family and love to my granddaughters and my daughter and her husband, right? So, thanks for listening. Don't be afraid to like a video if the contents make you sad. You should like it if you learned one thing out of it. And through years of doing platform work and my profession of hairdressing, they would always say if you learned one thing, the time was well spent. So, subscribe to Suze Pratt on YouTube. Peace, love, and light from the third cosmic ray. Good night.